hug the kid, man, and they broke, or the kid told us something, and it touched you in a crazy way, man. It touched you in a crazy way.
Yo,
it's hard to count.
I'm gonna talk from the mentee perspective. Yo, a mentor is really everything. Like, because a lot of us when we was younger, we didn't have no proper guidance. We didn't have nobody that tell us that we didn't even have nobody tell us that we could be something. We didn't have nobody that could even show us which direction to go into or anything like that. And the thing about it is, like with me, it's a lot of situations that I would have been in that I wasn't into because of my mentors or because of the people that were older than me that were pouring into me and was guiding me in the right direction. The people that saw more in me than I saw in myself. So I was able to start believing in myself and believing that I could do something different, even though everything around me and everybody around me was doing something that wasn't conducive for my growth or for any of our growth. And the mentor themselves, like the mentor is the reason why I decided to go to college and not knowing anything about college. That I was the first male to graduate high school. Matter of fact, I was the first male to graduate middle school in my family. And it's just so many, it's just so many things that went along in my family that without the proper guidance or the proper mentorship, that I wouldn't be where I am now. But also too, I learned a lot through the struggles and through the things that I've been through in life. But a lot of the times where I thought that I wasn't going to make it or I thought I couldn't do it, that's when that mentor stepped in, was like, here you go. Like, this the hand up. I'm going to push you in the right direction. I'm going to give you some of the stuff what you need. They still let me learn the hard way with some situations, but it was a lot of situations where it's like, hey, I got you. And that was what we got to be as mentors now, because these kids, they don't have nothing. They don't have they don't have some of the support that we thought we didn't have when we was kids. And that's the thing about it, is we got to understand what it really means to be a mentor. Not just a person that knows the kids, not just a person that's in and out of these kids' lives, a person that's really going to guide these kids in the right direction. Whereas though you can say, if I did not come into this kid's life, that kid would not be on this righteous path or this great path or whatever it is or direction they're going into, because I was able to see where they were headed. I was able to see what they were doing, and I was able to be an adjustment for them to get them in the right position or in the right direction.
Man, I tell you what's crazy. You got people who so much, one of the biggest things, like you said, that you wouldn't have even been able. Like you wouldn't have been able to even know. There's so much a mentor can tell you that you didn't even know that was possible. Like my first mentor, because you have a lot of role models and you have mentors that you may find in between stuff. My first mentor, man, when I was playing ball, took me to a level I didn't even know. I didn't know how to work out like that. I didn't know how to act right like that. You know what I'm saying? I finna do the same thing in school the rest of the knuckleheads doing. But he was telling me stuff I had never even heard, stuff I never considered, just like you saying. So that's so big, man. That's triple size right there. I got my boy tapped in, my boy Willie Sanders.
Yes, sir.
From the tri-state area, DC, Baltimore, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All that in that area, man. What are we talking about? Mentorship right now, man. You and RJ, man, can tap in on it. We talking about like what mentorship means, bro, with the value that it adds to people, like the reflections that it gives.
I think all of us are an example of what a mentor is, and that's why we're doing the spit image of being a mentor, because it's been done to us. And it don't has to be like people think because it's a certain age. Like everybody on this call right now is a mentor to me. Like I'm just keeping it a buck. I mean, it don't have to be, a young teenager. It's just as a man in general. Like for me to keep growing as a man, I need people like this on this call to be able to still mentor me. And that's for a mentor. It's something that you need throughout your life, not just, moments. It's something that you're going to need throughout this life, because life don't have, this guide or this this thing that we operate by. It's by each other examples to say, hey, iron sharpens iron. I see where you may fall, and I went through things in my life that you didn't have to experience. So let me kind of give you a guideline. Not saying you got to do it the way I'm telling you to, because you're going to find your own way, because the path is already lit for you that God has for you. But here are some tools that you can take on you on this journey and this path that you got to go down. And that's why we're all here, because I'm here because I've had people in my life, even though my dad was in and out, I have other people that was consistent that got me to where I am now. And on top of that, that just helped me understand myself as a man, because like I said, there's no Rolodex that says, you know, this what it is to be a man. Like, you got to do X, Y, and Z that makes you a man. Like, there's no Rolodex. So because there's no Rolodex, I need different men of different cultures, of different ways of life, on how to understand it, to give me a better opportunity to say, okay, I know that, and if I don't know, I know where to go ask the question. And you know, that's something that as men, we just feel like we don't read the instructions. We just try to figure it out. So when you're trying to figure it out, you cutting corners to fix something that might break.
Hey,
let me chime in real quick.
Yes, sir.
Because one thing I love that Willie said was that too often people kind of get stuck on that you got to have a mentor at a certain age.
Yeah.
But even greater than that is different phases and different parts of your life. You got to have various mentors. So
Yes,
what I mean by that is my spiritual mentor is not going to be the same person who mentors me in my career. That person who mentors me in my career is not going to be the same person who mentors me in the role of fatherhood or in the role of being a mentor to others that are younger than us, you know. But also going a step further, we also got to look at it this way. At what point in time do we say that we're the mentee and that we're the mentor?
Ooh.
Think about that.
Sir.
You know, at what point in time do you say, I really need somebody who's going to pour into me from that top down? Or like we're doing right now, you know, we're coming together as brothers to bounce ideas off of each other in order to take it down to the next level and pour information down. So we really got to start looking at those three levels and see, you know, when is the best time for me to sit still? When is the best time for somebody to pour into me? And then when is the best time for me to pour into somebody else?
Yes, sir. And
I tell you,
the good thing about it.
Go ahead, Willie.
Hey, the good thing about it is, what I love about the most is we can learn from the mentees while being a mentor. Like, we really do. Like these kids come into your life and touch areas that you be like, man, like I'm learning from you, and I express that to them, and they look at me like a deer in the headlights. Like, how? Like, you don't understand, because you're doing something I've never got a chance to do. Like, if you graduate from high school, I didn't get a chance to do that. So to watch you do it, that's a big impact.
Why? So how do we, and I know this is a big topic for parents, mentors, teachers, coaches. How do you help this generation? It's kind of a two-part topic, but I want to ask this one first. How do you help kids be teachable, especially when they don't have that? Because the biggest misconception is everybody coming to it thinking, oh, they millennials. First of all, they probably from Generation X or Z, whichever one it is.
Generation X.
Yeah, I'd be like, you ain't a millennial, bro. You got to be like 23 or up to be millennial. But anyway, how do you help them be teachable? Because that's a big, there is such a big gap in between the actual millennials and those who are older than them, teachers and instructors and stuff, and these kids kids today, bro, and teenagers don't even feel like they can trust adults, listen to them. They feel like they always being attacked, and a lot of time they hear. Sometimes you never even hear anything good about these young kids that's growing up now. It's in their music industry, it's in talents. They told they don't work hard, but you do have some who work hard, but you do have, in all honesty, a lack of being teachable. How do we fix that? What do we bring to them, and how can we help parents even prepare them to be teachable in this world?
Yo, Matt, listen, it's real simple. It's real simple. When I say this, y'all gonna be looking like, yo, is that it? Yo, you gotta meet the kids where they are.
Yeah, it is.
It's that simple. Just meet them where they are. So if you feel as though the kid is in the wrong path or doing the wrong stuff and things like that, and you want to help them and things, they're doing something. Like there is something that they're doing. They might be in the sports, they might be in the video games, they might be in the hollering at girls, they might be in the jump rope, they might be into anything. Meet them where they are. And then once you meet them where they are, it's easier to have conversations with them about where it is that you believe you want them to go. And that you can teach them where they can go, and that you can teach them to understand who they are and the value that they really have. And that's all it is. And then number two, be consistent.
That's it.
Meet them where they are and be consistent. Like that's it. If you do those two things, you will be able to reach all the kids. You will be able to reach your own kids. Like for the parents, if you're not able to reach your own kids, it's because you're not meeting them where they are and you're not staying consistent. So if your child is in there playing Fortnite or whatever the other games is and this, that, and other, and you know they like Fortnite and they like the games and all this, that, and other, that's what you should do. Learn how to play Fortnite. Or at least have your child teach you how to play Fortnite. And then now you'll be bonding with them, and while you playing Fortnite, you can talk to them like, yo, this game hard, or this, that, and other. Yo, what? Yo, you all right though? Everything good with you? How you feeling? Like, are your feelings okay? Oh, you had trouble in school? Oh man, why you had trouble in school? Like now you can get to the bottom of a lot of stuff because you're meeting them where they are, and the kids let their guard down because you are there with them. But if you come straight, oh, you need to fix this, fix that, you wrong for this, you wrong for that, you this, that, and other. Listen, a lot of times your kids are you. So your stubbornness that you got,
Right.
your kids will be 2 times that stubbornness. They got all the qualities from you. So it's just like, yo, when you was a kid, you didn't want people just talking to you any kind of way. You wanted people to give you respect too. Yes, you still gave respect as a kid, but you still wanted respect too. It's just, yo, meet them where they are and be consistent with whatever it is that you're doing.
Come on.
That's kind of real what Steven just said though about meeting them where they are. I love that example because man, my daughter's 8 and we taught her a few months ago how to ride a bike, right? Now, during that transition, she kept falling off, she kept getting scared, she kept crying and all that. The exact example that Steven said about Fortnite, my little girl is 8-year-old and be like slamming people on Fortnite. And when she started out, she wasn't that good. So we used that, like, look, you weren't good when you started playing Fortnite, but you kept on pushing. And we got to meet those kids where they are and find some type of lesson in what they love to do to bridge it into what they want to do.
And building that reward system. You know what a lot of parents don't have that we used to have when our parents leveled up? Reward systems. I remember when TV came with A's and B's. It wasn't no watching Dragon Ball Z. I remember, bro, when I got to open as many toys on Christmas as how many A's I got. It didn't matter how many gifts I got. You only get to open the amount of what that report card say. You know, and another piece in there, I thought about this when y'all was saying that. How do we help them get over the imagery? There's so many parents who have an image and a dream for their kids that's not even what their kids are interested in. And like you said, Steven, you can meet them where they are and also investing in what they like. Like when we talk about the gaming, I was telling a parent, I just asked a parent a simple question. I said, okay, your kid in the gaming, have you thought about helping to monetize it yet? And she was like, you know what? He did mention about getting some stuff. I said, yeah, put him on Twitch, put him on there, let him start making money from it. This is his first business. I said, just like how somebody taught us when we helped mow grass one day, somebody told us you can have your lawn care business. I had a business of taking out trash. I didn't have to mow the grass, but I was taking out all the trash in the neighborhood. I was the trash man. You know what I'm saying? It just was what it was. But how do we help parents get over that imagery of this is the dream I have for my kids, especially this my kid gonna be a quarterback mindset. You know what I'm saying? Your kid may not like football. He might not like, but we gotta get over the black dreams. You know what I'm saying? You know, because that's how you lead to if they don't play ball or rap. That's how they end up selling drugs. Because you put them in that world where it's only them 3. You put them in there. You told them their whole life he gonna play ball and buy me a house. That boy an artist. That boy an engineer. how do we help kids to invest in their kids where they can get over that?
First of all right, so listen, I want to touch the subject y'all was talking about, and I'm gonna hit that. In my mentoring, this is the number one thing I have realized with any kid. You can mentor any kid if you do this. No kid cares about what you know and what you're doing until they know you care for them.
Yep.
Flat out. Flat out. It don't matter. It don't matter what you're saying out your mouth. Kids can they can sense a fake from a mile away. They can sense somebody that's just there for $1 from a mile away. They can sense that you only there for the fame, for the lights from a mile away. I've had kids walk up to me and say, dude don't like kids. And I'm like, and literally I had to walk up to the person and say, you working with kids? You don't like kids? And you gotta go. How you here you don't like kids? But I noticed something. You taking 1 million pictures, you on Facebook with 1 million kids. Oh, so I get it. This about your image. This ain't about the kids. It's about your image. Because let's talk about these parents, right? What you were saying. A lot of these parents gotta stop using their kids like a meal ticket. Your child's not a meal ticket. Your child's not your meal ticket. He's not. You are trying to make him a grown man before he even become a grown man, because you making him responsible for pulling you out the hood. You putting that on. I'm a grown man, and sometimes being a grown man weighs me down. He's 16 years old. He got grown man weight on his neck. And you wonder why. Listen, let me break this down for you. I got to go there. Check this out. All my brothers on here. Name me one job that a 16-year-old can do that can bring in money like we bring in money as men. They can't work a fast food joint because they only get 4 hours a day. They can't really. So what's the other job? Think about it, y'all. What's the option? The streets. That's it.
Yeah, they dope, baby.
That's it. That's the only job he can. And you put manhood responsibilities on him. You talk to him like he's the man of the crib, and you expect him like to act like one. He found his option because as men, we all believe in this. You got to do what you got to do to provide for your family. And he's 16 years old, and you mad because he took the mindset of, mommy said we ain't got no food. Mommy said we ain't got no lights. I got to make this happen. There's no dad coming. There's no hero coming. There's nobody coming through that door. Just me and this 8-ball I got. So I'm going to take me and this 8-ball to the streets and make it work. So when parents put that weight, I tell parents all the time, stop putting, there's 2 weights that come on these kids. It's that manhood weight and that 18, you're going to cut them off weight. Because if I think at 18, come on, I'm sorry, you said this, didn't you tell me?
Hey, you said something then, though.
This our culture, bro. This our culture. This is what I'm fighting against, bro.
17.
This is our culture. I'm scratched at 18. So now I'm already planning how I'm going to provide for myself. I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. None of these kids are stupid. When you sit down and really talk to them, you got some real intelligent kids. Yep. They already know I'm 16 years old. Mom already told me since I was 18, you out of here. 18, you out of here. 18, you out of here. I'm pretty sure she believes that. So at 18, I got to be prepared to take care of myself like she does or like he does. Oh, no. But I'm 16. What job can I get? And don't get me wrong. I know some people going to say paper route, this, that, and the third. But realistically, no child should have to take on a full-time job at 16 years old.
So enough.
Yep.
And it's a culture. It's a culture. And until we address the culture and start really, and honestly, all of it has connections to each other. Single moms in the home. Like, what do you want her to do? This is why she needs mentor. This is why I am keen. When I find out a mother is single, I am definitely jumping in to help her because she needs help. That boy need a man behind his back. That lady, she needs somebody she can pick up the phone and say, yo, I need you to come over here and talk to him. And guess what? I shocked my mentees. I'm right there. Oh, you doing it? It's 11 o'clock. So what is 11 o'clock? I'm here. My Dukes just called me, said you out here doing this, that, and the third. Oh, so you think that's decent? But guess what, though? I never put the kid down without building him back up. Never.
Come on.
Never.
That's it.
That's our culture. We knock kids down, and we forget to build them back up. So we demolition men.
Yep.
That's all we do is demo. We don't do no building. We just destroy. And young boys get destroyed and go out to the streets.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Especially when it comes to taking them out the streets, a lot of things, because like you said, it's a culture. And a lot of people got to think about in that culture, because, and you may not be from this culture, but you definitely have seen it before. It's a poverty and black thing. When you're in poverty and you're black, that's when you usually get told that. That's when you're usually given that culture and that dream. And what you got to think about, all the kids I know who like that be fighting extreme crazy stuff. I'm talking about, people don't know that the public school system has rules to it that are just like the police force in the government, just like laws. I've seen a kid, I've mentored a kid who was getting bullied, beat up a kid, and I seen them do thing after thing after thing after thing to get this kid expelled to where we had to fight to get this kid back in school. I'm like, this a system. This is a broken system, the same way that is a broken system when they in the streets. These same kids that we talking about are fighting that system when they in school. If they not getting enough help with their education, we have to be, and this is where we come in at, because we can go in there and speak for them and say, listen, he in a situation that ain't like the kid who come from the suburbs situation. He in a situation that's not like the kid who got a two-parent household. You know what I'm saying? This kid right here every day is leaving one situation and coming to school. And if you giving him another, this is the life that you're about to put him in. And like you say, for a kid to go back home and have that pressure, oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. It's a great patience that must come with our kids. And that's even the topic y'all can speak on, being able to have patience with your kids, especially these young black men. It's going to take investment, and it's going to take patience for these brothers, because they got a lot that they face, way more than what you probably know. Because it's probably some eye-opening stuff people hear even now. Because even as mentors, I've only even had so many of these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's crazy.
And like you said, that's the part that people have to understand with their kids is that P word, the patience. Like when you have patience, that allows so much more to meet them where they at. And like Mac was saying, you gotta care. And these kids know when you're doing like he said, being consistent, showing up, like not showing up because that's what they used to. So the moment you say you sign up to be a mentor and you miss that one meeting, it's a wrap. Like you just did the same thing that they pops did. You just did the same thing that somebody they looked up to already, because you felt like, well, I had something else to do. Like nothing else is more important than them right now, and they need to know that. And as parents, as all of us as parents, I understand raising girls that I gotta have patience that surpasses anything, because if not, I'm gonna lose it. So I have to set my mind in a way to understand, okay, I know this daughter need 20 minutes, this daughter need 30 minutes, she gonna need 2 days. So I gotta be patient with them in a way that they like, man, like they gotta see like, Daddy is really patient with us. Because if they don't see that you're patient and you always rushing them through homework, or rushing them to get back to what you got going on, they gonna see that you really don't care. So if you don't build patience within yourself with them, it's gonna be easy for them to be like, I ain't got patience either, because when you come home, you so busy trying to do this so you can get back to doing what you want to do, versus I need your time to be sitting down watching a movie that you don't feel like watching, or playing a game you don't feel like playing. Like that's how you gain patience. Like I got 4 girls, so when I'm in there having tea parties, yep, I have tea parties. I put my finger up. We doing tea parties. When it's time to dress up, we doing it all. So that way they see like, man, Daddy he has a lot of patience with us. Because them kids, like I said, they smart. They be knowing I don't like doing it. But I never tell them that, and they'll never see in my face I don't like doing it. But I do it with them, and that gains trust and understanding and patience. So you gotta have that at the top of your whatever it is that's inside you to say, hey, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, it starts at home, but it starts with yourself to say, hey, I'm gonna be patient, even when it's frustrating, even when I'm tired, even when I didn't work 2 shifts, even when I'm like, it doesn't matter. that's why as adults we are given, like Max saying, like we are given that pressure and the weight to have on us. We can't put it on them. You can't put it on them to raise the other 2 kids, and that's the oldest one. That ain't fair.
Come on.
I mean, that's how it was for us growing up, but it's a different time now. Like y'all know, like we used to walk to school. Like you got predators and all kind of stuff out there now. You can't do that. It's a different time.
Listen, and to add to it, like you just said, it's a different time. Y'all gotta understand. We used to have, like, if you had problems in school, it used to stay in school. If you had problems at home or in your neighborhood, it used to stay in your neighborhood. Now they got social media and they got all these things, is recording and everything, that it transitioned into their whole life. So kids that used to get bullied in school only got bullied in school. They didn't get bullied at home all the time. They didn't get bullied in the streets and stuff. But now in this social media, they're getting bullied all day long, and they don't know how to handle it. Whereas though, like with us, it was more like, yo, go toughen up, go ahead and stuff. Like, no, listen, when I had problems at school, I didn't have to deal with the problems when I got home. When I got home, I got to relax and chill and game plan and get my mind together and stuff. And then when I got back to school, then I deal with those problems. Then I deal with those stuff. Where your kids, they don't have no relief. They don't, there's nothing stopping that kid from sending them a text message, from being online, from telling all the friends and everything that's going on and stuff like that, and you don't know what pressure is being put on your child. And now I know as adults, you sit there and think, oh, they don't have no problems or anything. Wait till they get adult problems. No, these kids have bigger problems than we've ever had. But the thing is, we don't have the problems with social media and all that other stuff because we're adults. We've been through a lot. So these aren't new things. We're used to people attacking us. We're used to people not believing in us. We're used to people trying to put us down. We're used to getting through adversity and all the other stuff. Whereas though your kids is not used to that stuff. They don't know what to do. They're not built as tough as you may have been. They didn't go through the stuff that you went through to make you into who you are. So the thing is this, you got to really connect with your kids, connect with your mentees. Like, don't just call yourself a mentor. Don't just call yourself a mom. Don't just call yourself a dad. Don't just call yourself an uncle. Don't just call yourself a godparent. Don't just give yourself these titles when you got to really be an influence in these kids' lives. You may be the deciding factor whether that kid will succeed or fail in life. And like you were saying, that whole notion of when you 18, you grown, when you 18, get out the house and all that other stuff, yo, that, I don't know who made that up. Whoever made that up, y'all need to let them, y'all need to catch them and catch them outside or something. Because the whole, think about it like this. You really believe at 18 years old, you are ready to make your full life decisions at 18. Think of yourself when you was 18. Even if you was taking care of yourself all the way up until 18. At 18, I was not ready to make my full life decisions of where I was going to go, what I was going to do, how my life was going to be and stuff like that. I still was a kid. And some of y'all adults, y'all forget that y'all kids are kids. But also, too, let's go on the other end of it. Stop treating your kids like they're adults. Stop treating these kids. Listen, it was a reason why they used to have certain movies rated the way that they had the movies rated. It was the reason why we wasn't allowed to be in certain conversations because we were still kids. We weren't supposed to be exposed to all the stuff that y'all exposing your own kids to. Y'all crazy. Y'all out here trying to be y'all kids' friends, and y'all trying to have them in all your conversations, seeing you doing all the stuff that you doing, and then wonder why your kids end up doing the stuff too. Then you sitting here making a whole scene. Oh, I don't know why my kid disrespectful. Your kid disrespectful because you disrespectful. Your kid drinking because you drink. Your kid out here sneaking around doing a bunch of stuff because you out here sneaking around doing a bunch of stuff. You not the good example. Oh, well, my kid should listen to what I tell them. No. Listen, my mom used to say a lot of stuff out of her mouth. But I learned so much more from what my mom did and what she didn't do. My mom went to work all the time. My mom always was at work. My mom always was trying to figure it out, always trying to put stuff together. So what that made me be able to do was always try to figure out, always try to put it together. And that's all it is. What are you showing your kids? What are you showing your mentees? What are you showing your nephews, nieces, god kids, and all that stuff? What is you showing them? because they only go by what they show. And then you mad when they follow the drug dealer because they get to see the drug dealer. They get to see the drug dealer be successful. They get to see the neighbor. They get to see the person in the neighborhood that ain't right for them. They get to go to them and they get to see what they're doing. And then now they become that person. Now they want to be around that person. Now they're involved in stuff that they shouldn't be involved in because you wasn't the right example. Because you feel as though nobody should say nothing to your kid. Y'all crazy. My neighborhood grew me. I became who I am because my neighborhood was my neighbors used to keep me in check. When stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing, my neighbors used to tell. I used to get in trouble with my neighbors and get in trouble back when I go home because my neighbors done called the house and my mom know now what I was around the corner doing. Whereas though now y'all feel as though y'all want to cuss the person out for telling your kid the right thing. You kid out there throwing rocks at people's windows and somebody say something to your kid, now you mad. Oh, why are you talking to my child? Because your child throwing rocks. Your child out here doing a bunch of stuff they shouldn't be doing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But y'all think, oh, I don't know where we went wrong, where I went wrong with them and stuff like that. And also too, last thing, I'm gonna give back. Understand your value system because you're giving y'all kids these wrong value systems. Y'all making these kids think that these Jordans or these sneakers or these certain clothes and all the other stuff is making them. Y'all making them think that, oh, if you buy $100 pair of tennis, y'all call them tennis shoes down south, you buy $100 pair of sneakers, that they the man, that they somebody. If you got on these certain name brands and all the other stuff, you putting the wrong values into your kids.
What's the moon boots they wearing? The Bosilag? What? I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Bosilago. Them little ugly Jones.
The moon boots. I call them moon boots.
You got your kids thinking they need Balenciagos. And then, listen, but then you giving them the Balenciagos, and then you forgetting that they're kids. So when they go outside and want to play with the other kids and they run around and then they mess up the Balenciagos, now you want to whoop the kid because they done messed up them $100 sneakers that you done put on a kid knowing that they a kid, knowing that they gonna mess it up anyway.
4. I'm sorry, I got to correct you. They like 4. Them Jones like
$400 pair of sneakers.
$400 pair of sneakers. $400 pair of sneakers. $400. Yeah, I know. It make you scratch your head, don't it, Will? $400.
It's a cardinal.
Cardinal. Now I mean,
God.
That's all we hear is the devil. Cardinal. 2 bills. like, and he walking around with 2 bills on his feet. Like that makes sense. Like that really makes sense. Like at the end of the day, as parents, the values, like he just said, man, I watch these parents and I'm like, why do you put, like for instance, one of the kids was saying to me, Mr. Matt, like you always telling us you get deals on your sneakers. Why don't you tell us that, I said, because I'm proud of the fact that I only spent 40 for my sneakers. I'm proud of the fact that I went to Ross and I found them Jones for 30. Like, I'm proud. I said, you know why I'm proud though, young boy? Because I got bills and I got things to handle. So I need that money to handle the more important priorities of my life. And like he said, man, they put a value system on these kids where they value things that don't have no value to them. In other words, you put on a pair of sneakers and you believe that's going to add value to you. It doesn't. The only thing you do when you buy a pair of sneakers is add value to the person selling you the sneakers. You don't add value to you. The second you step in them sneakers go from $400 to a $0 asset for you. You just spent $400 and in a second, it went from a $400 asset to a $0. Teach your kids about gold. Teach your kids about real estate. Teach your kids about having a business. Teach your kids about, like one of the things Jamal say that I got me and my lady saying that I'm going to live by is, when time is done, I want a property for every bill I got.
Come on.
Seriously. Like, I when he said that, he touched my soul. I was like, what? I got a property for every bill that I have. I don't pay bills. My properties do. Like, do you understand what type of system that is? Like, at the end of praise, clothes is being praised, and none of this stuff adds value to these kids. None of it. They're not reading books. They're not learning the game. You're not selling them the game. You're not even giving it to them. This is what we do every day with this entrepreneurship. This is why we got into it. Because me and Steven both realized, like, yo, we can't work for nobody, man. We realize that. Like, yo, like, basically, you give me $15 and you tell me that's what my hour's worth. My hour's worth $15. And I can't make no more than $15 in this hour. So I can't go out and say, maybe I can make more than $15 in this hour. Nah. It's a value system. It's being taught from generation to generation.
Listen, I talked to them about, listen, stop saying them Jordans cost $60. Stop saying them sneakers cost that and other. No, them sneakers cost you 4 hours. Them sneakers cost you 6 hours. That outfit cost you 12 hours. That all that stuff costs you these days. Like, these days you're not getting back. Stop letting them think that, these 15 or whatever it is, it don't matter. It don't matter how much money that they paid for this stuff. You gave up a bunch of hours of your life that you would never get back for this little bit of money that you feel as though it's going to change. You changing the way the broke people that's around you is looking at you. You're not changing nothing else but changing the way the broke people around you is looking at you. There is nothing more than that's coming from you buying this stuff and you showing off in the neighborhood that you in with the other broke people. They don't have nothing. But you feel as though you should show your little bit of something to the people that don't have nothing, instead of using that money for an experience. Listen, when I was a kid, you couldn't tell me nothing was wrong with North Philly. You couldn't tell me nothing was wrong with the hood, because all I knew was the hood. All I knew was the hood in Wildwood, New Jersey, which is nowhere. When I used to go to Wildwood, I used to think I was in another country. You couldn't tell me I was in another country. Until I got a little bit older and I started getting new experiences. Until I got somewhere where I started seeing people that looked like me, that was living way better than me, and that was a regular thing. Where they're complaining about, oh man, we gotta go to Florida again this summer. Oh man, my mom, every winter they want to go to the cabin. I'm tired of going to the cabin every winter. My mom only bought me one pair of blue sneakers, and she knew I wanted the red ones and the blue ones. She got me only the blue ones. I'm like, what? She got you sneakers? I'm still stuck on it. You went where? I didn't even know where Florida was. Disney World, who?
I'm gonna tell you where a lot of that comes from. And this gonna help us go into the next branch, because I want to make sure parents and I want to make sure people know, we know you love them. We know you love them. We know you want to give them what you didn't have. What we asking you to do is to either help us, and you also let them know what you didn't know. But a lot of times, where this activity comes from is cycles and chains, generational stuff. Most of the time, the parents who are doing that and buying their kids all that stuff is the same parent who went through, when you 18, you got to get out of my house. Now you struggled and fought and cried. I'm talking about tooth and nail to have something to where you'll do anything to give your kids material stuff. And a lot of times what we missing, because when we giving them that material stuff, when we saying that we gonna love them, we don't understand the depression and anxiety that we are building inside our youth today. Like, it was a big topic on Facebook, especially down here in the South just a minute ago. But I want adults to think about the amount of depression you go through. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the amount of anxiety that you go through a day's time. And what I want to let you see is that I want you to visualize a kid who can see everything you see because he got social media, who in his mind is going through everything you going through, even if he only going through half of it. And I want you to imagine being 17 again and going through twice the amount of depression you're going through right now. Because that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with kids that's not living, he having that 17-year-old depression. No, ma'am. He got 37-year-old depression. Because when I'm talking to him, he talking to me about stuff that don't even concern him. He talking to me about stuff that's a whole different level. That's in a whole different, I'm like, bro, and even if it's little stuff, like you said, even the bullying, man, the depression and the anxiety and y'all can speak to this too, that kids are going through nowadays. We for real don't know. We for real don't. We don't have a clue. We losing a generation and don't even know it. We losing a generation and don't even know it. Because we so blind to it because we're reactive instead of proactive. And I know you love them, but what I'm trying to tell you is you about this close from losing. That's why all the rates are up from whatever they ever been. Suicide rates and stuff. Man, you know, when I was growing up, it wasn't no kids I went to school with killed themselves. Not like these kids say, man, you know, Bob shot himself the other day. What? Yeah, man, little Chris did too about a year ago. How you got two in one school era? Like, but what we got to realize is, and this is what mentoring helps do, this is not a problem that we can't solve. Will it take work? Yes. Will it take progression? Yes. Will it take village? Yes. Will it take community? Yes. It's going to take all that, but all that is worth your kid not being depressed. All that is worth, I've seen kids, man, it almost brings me to tears to think about. My closest mentee was the most depressed kid I ever seen in my life. I'm knowing he's going through more than I'm going through. And I could barely, and at this point, I would barely feed my kids, but I'm looking at him. I'm looking at this kid, and I'm like, bro, he broke. He broke. He ain't got no hope. He ain't got no hope. And you trying to love him. You trying to love him through it. But love, that ain't what love is meant to do. Love can help you, yes. But he need healing. He need a mentor. He needs somebody to tell him, bro, I've been there, bro. Bro, if I'm going through and you going through, let me show you my pain so that you can see too, oh, I can make it. And that's why we got to share our success stories. That's why we got to mentor. That's why we got to show them. Man, you know, because I got on myself even with starting this mentorship back because of that thought. I said, man, I got mentees who seen me when I had little to nothing. And now I'm the highest paid person in my company, and I don't even have the highest position. Mm. My manager from time to time acknowledged that, oh, you balling because I made more than him last year, and he was my director. So I do that so I can go back and reflect to these kids, not just material, but your goals, your life. You can change your goals, you can change your life. And y'all can speak to that too, about just giving them the evidence in that lane of encouraging how important that is, because sometimes we feel like that encouragement ain't important. But these kids are in such a rut that sometimes the speech we give them, that was all they had. And I had kids tell me that before, like, bro, that was all I had to go on. You know what I'm saying? I got a mentee on him. He was on a minute ago, but he was one who I seen. I said, oh man, bro was going through it, but he pushed himself through college football, bro. Pushed himself, I watched him, pushed himself while he playing JUCO football out of depression, bro. I'm watching this kid come out of depression. That's the glory of this. That's what we want to see. But somebody got to be putting into them for them to get there.
Yo, listen, you just said a whole lot. You just said a whole lot. And I know it seems like we harping on the subject and stuff like that. But listen, let me just bring it down a little bit. Yeah, the question is this: if you teach your child that you love them because you buy them things, because you get them things and stuff like that, your child will become an adult that think that someone is going to show them that they love them by what they buy them or what they get them, or by what they only because they make them feel good and things like that. So you're basically setting your child up for failure, because what they're going to do is they're going to run into people who have resources, who have things, that don't have the best intentions behind it. And they're going to your child is going to be put into situations as an adult that they shouldn't be into, because they chasing after the stuff or after the love that you showed them when they was growing up or when they was kids. So now they're adults putting in and doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing even as adults. And that's all it is. We saying, yo, the value system that you drop on your kids, that you show them, is the value system that they become adults with. And some people, they may never recover from the value system that was given to them as kids. So it's you're setting them up. It's basically like, we are already behind. We already behind. you're putting them even farther behind with the value system and the stuff that you teaching your kids or the stuff that you're not teaching them. So if you out here doing a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't be doing, and you around a bunch of people you shouldn't be around, and you going through a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't be going through, but you still stuck in, oh, this is my neighborhood, this is where my grandmom grew up, this is where my mom grew up, this is where my dad grew up, and all the other stuff. This is where I'm growing up, and this is where my kids growing up. Look at the life of the people that grew up before you. If you're in an environment that the people aren't growing, the people aren't becoming better, you're not seeing more success as you go from grandmom to mom to kid and all the other stuff, you're not seeing the progress going on, then you need to change the environment. You need to change the values. You need to change what you're doing and what you're not doing. So we're not here to yell at you, but we will yell at you. But we just here to tell you, like, yo, you really need to watch the values that you pressing onto these kids, that you pressing onto these mentees, you're pressing onto your own children, that you're pressing onto any children that you come in contact with. Like, some kids really need you to be that light. And the thing is this, anybody that knows me, they know I'm far from flashy. I'm far from flashy. But like I said in Bible, like he said, listen, hold on, y'all, you bragging. Like, hold on. Y'all don't have the right to brag. I was a Pharisee of the Pharisees. So if anybody has the right to brag, I have the right to brag. Like, I was so if there was the top level, I was the top of the top level, telling the top level people what to do. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not out here being flashy. I'm not out here telling people all I got and things like that. And because that's not the value that I want them to believe in. That's not what I want them to see. I want them to see that, yo, Mr. Steve life is it seemed like he enjoying himself. It seemed like yo, he went on another trip. He bought another house. Every time I see him, he in another car. He's doing it. Like, what's going on there? And it's just like showing them different. You can show them different without being super flashy and having to come through. Like, I can buy the cars that the other ones got. I can act like the other ones and wear the rings and all that other stuff and I can do all that. I can get a grill and all that. But the thing is that helping the people that you're trying to mentor, you're trying to guide in the right direction, because they will lose the sight or they will lose the vision because they're only looking at what you're showing.
So I can hear the parents screaming already, and this gonna help us go into even our next part, because I can hear the parents screaming already. But how? Okay, so we have talked about how to get in to provoke that change. But how do you make that change? And I want to shout out my boy Andrew Payton is in the building. You know what I'm saying? Financial guru and everything.
What's going on, man?
Man, it's all good, man. And I want you to help me with this one, because Shears, he went right into it. So when you think about young adult, you're a parent with young kids, or whether you about 17, 18, about to go into this world, like he said, he talks so much about money that I know that's your lane. Money is. I'm talking about straight cash and credit. That's your lane. So you came in right on time, because even from my own experiences, one of my buddies who was financial manager, when they had to break down to me, I'm like, bro, I got $20,000. I'm finna go get my tiny house. They said, let me ask you this, bro. As you buy that tiny house, how much money you got? I said, I'm straight. I'm still making it. They said, no, you're not. They said, you need to get $20,000 and just say that, then go get another $20,000 and buy the tiny house. Man, I thought they were crazy. And I'm 29 years old. And I said, bro, you mean to tell me I put in all this hard work and I saved $20,000 to go get my tiny house, and you telling me to wait another year and rack up another $20,000 and then go buy the house while I just got $20,000 sitting in the bank? They said, yeah, bro, because you got to have a network, bro. So, Andrew, you can, man, help us with that. How do we provoke that change with some of the things that they can do financially, especially these young people? If we can get them this information, this is why I know I'm gonna do a gang of these too. How can we break that? And it's money out there right now. I'm trying not to talk about it because I see money all the time. But help them, bro. Help them, man.
Okay. So, well, actually, Matt, tell me this. Is most of the people that we're talking to right now, they in Mississippi or what?
They somewhere everywhere. Like Shears and them, they from Philly, they got some people on. This thing all East Coast, maybe a few West Coast people. This something for everybody.
Okay, so I'm still here, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So I'm gonna talk about Mississippi for a minute. So the stigma is that there's no money here in Mississippi. People can't thrive here in Mississippi. That couldn't be farther from the truth. I graduated Southern Miss in 2017. I got a loan officer position right out of college, right? Community bank. I was there for 2 years. I saw more money in those 2 years probably than I saw the previous 25 years of my life. There is so much money here in Hattiesburg. Now it's plenty of money in Mississippi, don't get me wrong, but it's plenty of money here in Hattiesburg. You just got to know where it's at. Come on. This is the analogy I give people. Well, I'm going to say this first and then I'm going to get an analogy. People won't take you serious until you take yourself serious. Okay? And then I'm going to get this analogy. So if there's a car on the side of the road, it's just sitting there. You don't see anybody by it. You driving by. I'm not a betting man, but I'm willing to put money and say, you're not going to stop and just go sit by an abandoned car, right? Right. So change the situation. You see somebody pushing their car. Nobody's driving the car. You just see somebody pushing the car. Something in your heart is going to trigger you and say, hold on, let me help this person push their car. Moral is, when you see somebody doing something that looks like they can use help, you're going to help them. And it's that same way for everybody. Now, granted, everybody's not going to be willing to just stick their neck out for you, okay? But that's not what you should be worried about. There are people in this world that are willing to help you, but you have to help yourself. Benjamin Franklin was the one that said, God helps those who help themselves. Jesus didn't say that. Ain't nowhere in the Bible. But at the same time, people would help those who help themselves. If you are doing something for yourself, you are actively trying to better yourself. There are people in this world who will see that you may not even know, but they see that and they are willing to help you. How do I know? I'm a living witness. People I didn't even know. It's just through friends of a friend. Just connections out of nowhere. People were just willing to help because I was trying to do something better for myself. Now, granted, I wasn't born and raised in the hood, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but at the same time, I wasn't raised in the hood either.
Hard-working family. Come from a hard-working family.
I appreciate that, man. You a real one.
Man, the whole time, though, your family work hard, boy. Better not nobody say that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's crazy because, and this is the thing. I'm glad you said that. Matter of fact, my grandparents, my dad's mom and dad, they lived here in Hattiesburg. Both of them had a 3rd grade education.
Come on, bro.
11 kids. 11 kids now. Mayor Johnny Dupree, back in 2005, signed declaration in Hattiesburg as Murphy and Ophelia Payton Day in Hattiesburg because of all the stuff they did in the community.
Wow. I didn't know this.
A 3rd grade education. I got the proclamation at my house, the signed copy. I'm going to send it to you when we're done. But a 3rd grade education. I'll be willing to bet that everybody on this call right now got hired in a 3rd grade education. I'd be willing to put money on that.
Yep. So Andrew, help him with this real quick, because I can hear the parents screaming. I can hear somebody saying, what I don't know nobody. I'm black. Who I go to? Only white folks able to get that. They ain't gonna give me no loans. Don't nobody want to support me. What all them people started?
Man, first off, it's the mindset. Everybody knows this quote from Harriet Tubman. It said, I freed a lot of slaves, but I could have freed a lot more if they only knew they were slaves.
Yeah.
So that tells me it starts with the mind. This whole, like, if people knew they were a slave, then they could be free. Now, people aren't slaves like they were, hundreds of years ago, but you might be a slave to your phone. You might be a slave to that female you can't stop texting.
You talking to the boys now?
Come on
Hey,
now. Come
look,
on now.
you know me. You know me. I'm gonna talk to you.
Hey.
It's so many different things that you could be a slave to. So you have to get free of whatever you're a slave to. You might be a slave to excuses. You might be a slave to procrastination. I used to be there, man. I was the king of procrastination, man. All through Southern Miss, that's all I did was procrastinate. Anytime I had to write a paper, I wouldn't even start on it until the day before. It don't
God,
matter. It don't matter how much time we had, man.
Okay. 24-hour shot clock, right? 24. Yo, that's me too. I get up at 5 a.m. like,
Man, look,
me and a tall cup of coffee.
the hard work that was coming out of you, that when your back against the wall that you put it to, how in the world
yeah.
you missed all
Listen.
the night, but the night before,
And then-
how you do 24 hours? You ain't
Man.
Hold on. Then I'm putting the pressure on the people at the writing lab. I take it to them, they chop it up, I take it into the writing station, I fix it, I bring it back. I take it to them,
Yeah.
they're like, you can't schedule 4 appointments. Who said I couldn't? I paid for this. Y'all, who said my class started
like
at 8?
you're right, too.
Look,
Treat it like
my
it's your
class
right.
start. Listen, my class starts at 7 p.m. If I gotta schedule one at 1, 3, 5, and 6:30, I am. But by 7, this paper gonna be an A.
It felt like you done something too. I'm talking about, and to get mad at your professor. What you mean you gave me a C? I stayed up to 5 o'clock doing this paper. Didn't nobody tell you?
Exactly. And that's the thing right there. I'm glad you said that. Nobody told you you had to be in a situation that you was in. Now, granted, if you were born to a black skin, you in a black skin. But that's not a curse as people see it. Again, it's all about the mindset. There are people who came from far worse than us who went on to do things we couldn't even imagine. Think about that. So what's your excuse? You born in the 20th, 21st century. You got access to so much more information. If you're watching this Zoom call right now, I bet you got at least $1,000 smartphone in your hand. Tell me what information you don't have access to. Tell me what you can't Google. Tell me what you got. You got motivational videos on tap. You got anything you want to learn about on the internet on tap. Like it's all about what you value.
Listen, tell them that they don't even know Dewey or his dumb decimal system that he put together that we had to figure out and be in the library.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Man,
but what did they start
okay,
at though?
So there's a quote that says, "Change your mind, change your life." Okay. What I was starting to say is that it is about what you value. Okay. So a lot of what we see on TV, internet, we see what's popular, but all of us on this call, or at least they're speaking right now, I'm sure we all know that what's popular isn't what's important. Okay.
Oh, you took that straight out of my brain now, bro. so many people don't do it. Just like we talked about with mentoring. I said Monday, mentoring ain't sexy. Guess what?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna have 400 people watch this in a night. And what people got to realize is people not go, only people, there's 1% for a reason. And I'm pretty sure you can break this down like crazy. There's 1% for a reason. Because it's not that, all the money go to the 1% people. No, there's only 1% of people in the world who got the mindset to say, instead of me doing a bunch of stuff that's gonna be a liability, let me put my mind towards the stuff that are assets. My brain power.
Man,
that'll
look,
change my thought. Reading a book instead
now.
of watching a TV show that ain't gonna give me nothing.
Bruh, okay, check this out. So I want to say, I forget who exactly said this, but I believe it was a motivational speaker. So he said, now it was Jim Rohn, that's what it was. If you don't know who Jim Rohn is, go look him up. So he said, if you take all the money in the world, divide it up equally between everybody living, within 10 years, it would end back up in the same hands it is today.
Same thing.
Now, why is that? Is that because of white privilege? No. Is that because black people are cursed and black people can't get ahead? No. It's because of the mindset. Like that. Man, look, You have to start off, and you were talking about where to start, okay? This is where to start. You have to talk to yourself. And this is what I had to do too. You have to talk to yourself. Tell yourself that you can do whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to tell yourself that you could be a millionaire. Why? Because so many other people have told you that you can't, and you believed it. Now, it's not our fault the way that we were brought up, okay? But once you're of the age where you can fend for yourself, you can think for yourself, all excuses off the table.
There go.
So it's about the mindset. All right, so what about the mind? So we start right here. Talk to ourselves. What do you want to change about your life? What do you see in your life that you don't like? That's where you start. If you don't like the situation you in, okay, how can I make money to get out this situation? Or how can I learn something to get out this situation? Whatever it is, you start right there, find the problem, and you start with a solution. Every time it says, he had just put out a video with him and Toby. And I wanna quote exactly like he said it. He said, the answer to your problem is a commitment to the solution. That's what he said. The answer to your problem is a commitment to the solution. So when you see a problem, you say, I'm living in the hood, or I'm black, I can't never get ahead. Police killing us left and right. Now, granted, some of that for your situation, that may be true, but no situation is permanent. I always remember that. No situation is permanent. And so,
I want you to help me with this too. I want you, because this is hot right now. I'll cut this Zoom off. This information finna be so good. Because when I tell y'all I'm finna go down, I'm finna go down to the root, and there's so many people, there are black successful people who still have not figured this out. I just got into this part that I'm about to say right now. Bro, help them with the difference in between the thought process of making money and taking care of your money. Like, because there's a lot of us who be like, oh, I just need to go make more money. I realized that when I got my first two $6,000 commission checks, I'm like, boom, okay, one, boom, bam, to my 30 days. Then I thought about it. I said, shoot, number one, I don't know what to do with this money. Number two, about 3,000 of that's gone and I don't know where it went. And that's what provoked me to say, there's a clear difference, because I became a guru at making it. But man, I'm dumb to what to do with it and taking care of it and making it work for me. Help us, bro.
You know what? So you know this, but I don't know if everybody else knows. So I'm a financial advisor, right? Mm-hmm. What I tell people in every last one of my appointments, most people's problem is not they don't make enough money. The problem is they don't know what to do when they get it. Okay? And like I say, it's funny you say that, because there are millionaires out here living check to check.
Woo, and they don't know that. They do not all do it now.
Boy, I can tell you some stories now. It's millionaires in Hattiesburg living check to check. Right? It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's a people thing. It's a mind thing. I promise you. So everybody that's thinking, I gotta make more, if I just make a little bit more money, I'll be all right. That's not the issue. When you change, your situation will change. And how do you change? When your mind changes. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So wherever your mind goes, that's where you go. So if your mind says, I can't never get out this situation, I never make enough money, I just need to make a little bit more money, whatever it is, that's what you are. But if you tell yourself, I'm a millionaire, I can do this, I'm prosperous, I'm wise, I'm smart, I can do whatever I need to do to accomplish my goal. Billy Osborne, he's another motivational speaker. His favorite tagline is, by any righteous means necessary. And that's what I started, that's what I adopted. And so every day I say, whatever my goals are for that day or for that, whatever time period it is, I say, I can accomplish this goal by any righteous means necessary. Whatever I need to do, I can do it. God gives me, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, by any righteous means necessary. So I can change my mind. And when I change my mind, I change my life by any righteous means necessary. If that means, boy, just like he was talking, if that means you got to read another book, if that means you gotta cut the TV off, if that means you gotta cut your phone off, whatever it is, do it. Start with a commitment to the solution. Because this is the thing, the name of my financial advisor firm is Simplified Wealth Management. Simplified. That's what we try to make for people. That's what we try to make people's financial life simple. Okay? Everything in the Bible is simple. It's not always easy, but it is simple. Okay? There is nothing God told us to do that's complex. If you find one, you let me know.
Come on.
Right? So when you got a problem, you say, I'm in the hood. How do I get out the hood? I need to make more money, or I need to do something, invent something. You start right there. Start with one thought. And then once you start thinking about that solution, ideas are going to come to your head. Okay, I can sell lemonade. Now, you might look at can't talk. You might look down on people that start small, but it's often the people that start small and go slow that are the wealthiest people you've ever seen.
Who you telling why?
Fast money will come and go. As quick as it comes, will be as quick as it goes. When you start slow, like I know people personally that have started slow over time, doing hair, cutting grass, 20 things. And I ain't number 27. But I done seen people start slow, start small, and then go on. Jody Dixon, just put on Instagram. He done debt free. He was one of them people that started slow, started slow, did it right, just made a little more money at the time. Jody ain't no millionaire. He ain't making 6 figures a year.
And look, and debt free and went to college.
And paid off 70,000 a student loan in 2 years. 70,000 in 2 years. It's about the mind. There is no excuse now. Okay, hundreds of years ago, I could understand. There was no technology. You might not have had access to certain information, but they still did it. So what was their excuse? It's about the mind. They were committed to the solution, and guess what? They got it.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Let me go back to your other point. What was it? You made the money, but you didn't know what to do with it when you got it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, tell me that, where all you want me to go? Because I can go down a rabbit hole on that. I can talk to you for hours on that.
We can target on this. Let's put one closer back toward the younger group. Cause we don't gave the parents half a book. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking to myself a minute ago, I ain't give y'all too much because some of y'all need to be paying for some of this. But what a college kid need to know about if he's making money, or even when a young kid leave college, when it comes to taking care of money and credit, because I know them two go together. Not full credit, but just in that lane, because once you get out of high school, like we talking about, you going to college or you going to that next level, this is where you finna mess the whole game up. You finna tear it up. So help right there.
All right, so I'm gonna touch on the credit first. So the most popular thing on people's credit, the most popular first thing I should say on people's credit report is student loan. Most time they get the student loan and it's co-signed for by a parent. Okay. Now, the ideal situation is for a parent to send their child to college debt free, just be able to pay for their college cash. Now, I was even having a conversation with my homeboy, and he didn't realize that you can pay for everything in this world cash. Like, you don't need credit to buy anything, car, house, whatever. You can just pay cash for it and be done. Pay for it one time. Now, credit is not the end all be all. Okay, it is good to have because most people just don't have the cash to buy something like a car or a house, because that thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, whatever the case is. So I say probably the most important lesson in credit: know exactly how it works. Do not go get a credit card just because somebody told you it's a good idea. Do not run up a bill on your credit card just because you need credit. Okay? Talk to somebody. Matt can give out my contact information. If you don't know nothing about credit, shoot me a text, call, email, whatever. I'm available. Okay. My goal is to educate people on money and everything financial. There, like again, there are people out here to help you. But if you don't reach out for help and you're not trying to help yourself, well, hey, you just gonna keep complaining about the situation you in, and your kids gonna be in the same situation, and they kids, and so on. And then you just got people 5 generations later talking about we can't get ahead. But whose fault was it that you didn't learn?
Come on.
So,
Come on. So I want y'all
but
to help me with this one. And I know this one go hit about our last 30 minutes. I'm gonna save most of the financial, but I want everybody to come from their area, their perspective. Cause we go talk more about cash. Well, we go help them.
okay.
But this is a big one going into our last 30 minutes. Y'all help me and help these parents, help these kids with being young and black in America right now. All us black men, all us still alive, all us are some stand-up guys and some guys in our communities, and in a lot of ways I can say too, would know what to do when you getting pulled over. I believe all of us are voting men, whichever way we vote. You know what I'm saying? All of us know and do something in the community. But what is it, the picture today of being young black in America, just even overall? Help me, well, where do we go with that as a young black man? And there's a lot of parents, I get a lot of questions about this, a lot of parents crying. We had our first session with Shatora Ladon, man. I'm talking about, it's a mom scrape all her eyes out crying. I'm talking about, she said she's scared for her baby, you know, and we talked about that, and we can even dig into that. But being young black in America, y'all help me. What does that picture look like, and where do we go? What's that message to them young brothers and these parents of these young brothers?
Yo, real quick with it. Yo, it's not fair. It's just not fair. It's not fair. It's not, let me say one more time. It is not fair. Like, it's so many things that we got to do just being young black to survive. Like, forget getting to the next level just to survive. It's not fair out here. So understand, let me say one more time. It is not fair. Now, the thing about it is this. It's either you're going to allow the unfairness to stifle you to keep you where you are, or you're going to work your way around stuff. Like, we are so resilient as black people, especially as young black people. We are so resilient. We figure a way out of no way. We, like they said, we make lemons out of lemonade. They give us the worst parts. We make it into a better part. And that's the thing you got to remember. So just like y'all kids can, y'all can figure out, okay, listen, if I want some money to do something, I know to go ask mom not when she first get home, but when she sit down and she start watching her stuff. You can understand, like, oh, if I want to do certain things, I know who to ask, I know when to ask, I know how to ask, I know what to do with it. And that's all it is. We just got to apply the stuff that we already know to life. So a lot of the stuff is just as simple. Don't dwell on the problem, find a solution. So yes, one more time. I gotta beat it with a stick. Listen, it's not fair. It's not. But look, now the thing about this, understand, collectively we are powerful. Collectively we are powerful. We can do so many things. Now, when I say collectively, I don't mean just collectively going out there to the protest and stuff. The protest is wonderful. Yes, keep that energy up, keep the stuff. But collectively, we can start doing smaller. We can start doing things in our city, in our neighborhood. Like, you can start making your neighborhood better. As in, when I was younger, we used to have neighborhood cleanups. We used to clean up the block every weekend. We used to paint the sidewalks. We used to do all of that every weekend. We used to have like almost a barbecue every weekend with the neighborhood cleanup, in which all of the families in the block used to bring food and stuff, and we'll do and everybody will eat, and we enjoy ourselves and stuff like that. Collectively, that's the happy moment. But also collectively, we all can go out there and vote. Like, vote for you need to know who in your city, or who in your town, who is the one making the decisions. Because at the end of the day, your city councilman, your state representative. These are the people that are making the decisions in your city, in your town and stuff. So if you feel as though we're being oppressed and you feel as though we already know it's not right, we already know it's not fair, you can start voting the right people into these places. So yes, start figuring out who these people are and then start putting pressure on them. Because once they get in the office, they done already said what they were going to do. Now we need to put more pressure on them and let them know, like, listen, you're going to give us what we want. You're going to give us what you told us you was going to give us, or we're going to get you out of there. And you can start with that. And as you build with that and you start changing your city council, you start changing the PTA meetings, you start changing the people in charge of the school board, you start changing those people that's making these everyday decisions that affect your life. You'll start seeing some progress. You'll start seeing some change. You'll start seeing, like, hold on, like, oh, we weren't able to do this a year ago. We weren't able to do this however long ago, but we're able to do some of the stuff now. And you just got to work the levels up. Yes, the presidency is one of the most important offices, but we can get a lot more done if you work on the local elect with the people who are around you that are doing stuff. So as young Black people, use the energy that you got. Use this you got. Come together and figure some stuff out. Y'all can collectively build businesses. Y'all can collectively change your neighborhood. Y'all can collectively change the narrative that they say about y'all and not allow them to oppress y'all as much as they are. And like I said when I started, it is not fair.
Yep. Y'all help him on that. Where y'all at with the young Black in America right now?
Oh, it's my go? Oh, I go on it. All right, so kind of like my boy just said, it's not fair. Some things in life just aren't fair. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right, it really doesn't matter. Matt, I know you'll feel me on this one. Well, for those that don't know, Matt Naylor and I went to rival high schools. Okay, we played football against each other. Now, sports taught me a lot in life. And one thing I know is that sometimes the odds are going to be stacked against you. Sometimes the opposing team is going to be bigger, stronger, faster than you. But just because you feel like they're better than you, does that mean you don't go out there and play? Does that mean you don't go out there and put your all into it? If this is the game, now specifically we talking about football, but this applies to life as well. For the game I love, for something you are passionate about, for something you will put your heart into, for something you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, are you really gonna let anybody else stop you?
Come on.
That's what you have to ask yourself. God gave everybody on this earth breath. There's a purpose for everybody on this earth to be here. There is something that your heart beats for. You are here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. You here for a reason. Everybody watching this video is here for a reason. Everybody on this earth breathing is here for a reason. And that's what you have to remind yourself of every single day. You are here for a reason. There is a purpose that you are supposed to fulfill in this earth. You are supposed to make an impact somewhere in this earth. Some people may feel like it's small. Some people may feel like it's big. That's all in your perspective. That's how you see it. So being young Black in America, look, like my guy said, sometimes the odds are going to be stacked against you. Sometimes when people see a Black person, they may get scared. But what does that matter to you? If you know who you are, what does somebody else's opinion of you matter?
Come on.
Anybody else's opinion of you is none of your business. It doesn't matter. Like I got tattoos. I used to wear earrings. I really don't wear the earrings no more because I'm in a professional setting. But I had the stuff. Okay, I wore hats backwards. When people saw me, they may think, "Oh, that's a thug right there." What does that matter? I know I'm not a thug. So what? Tell me, what does this matter? We get too focused on other people's opinion of us, and then we get upset when everybody says something racist. Like, racism, is it alive? Yes, but again, it doesn't matter. Greater is He that's in us than he that's in the world. God is bigger than racism. If God can get you out of any other circumstance, why can't he get you out of a racist situation? Like, tell me where's the disconnect? So yeah, being young black in America, I mean, again, yeah, sometimes the odds are stacked against you from a world standpoint. But what does it matter? You go out there for I'm guessing there's a lot of young men watching this. So if it is, you still go out there, you still play sports, you still go out there and play basketball, you still go out there and play football, even though you know the other team might be better than you. But you tell yourself, again, the mentality, you tell yourself, oh, I'm gonna go out here and ball out. I don't care who's in front of me. I don't care if it's Kobe Bryant or LeBron James defending me. I'm gonna go out here and ball out. I don't care if it's the best defensive back you could ever find. I'm gonna go out here and ball out. Why not apply that same energy to life? It may be the most racist person you know standing right in front of you. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out here and ball out. It's about the mentality. If you got a purpose on this earth, which you do, go out there and live your life like God says you can live. God intended for all of his children to live prosperous. He intended for all of them to live wise. He intended for all of them to live strong. And it's not like you alone. God said he'll be with you wherever you go. He didn't say he's with you wherever I tell you to go. And then if you stray out to the left, I'm not with you no more. He said, I'm with you wherever you go. If you go to the most racist parts in Mississippi or Alabama or wherever else, guess what? He's still there with you. Yep. Tell me he ain't. So look, anybody that tells me God's not with him, either you lying or God's lying. I pick you.
Come on. Help my John. Young black in America, Mike. In today's time, today's culture.
If I had to look in this camera and look at a young fella, the first thing I would tell him is, I know you're angry.
Yes, sir. Talk about it.
I fully understand you. I understand your anger. I understand you're upset. And I understand that you're looking at this game called life and your hand don't look so great. Trying to figure out how I'm going to win. Trying to get a win out the hand, and the hand don't look like it's going your way. But the first thing I will tell you is, you in the game. You got a hand.
Come on, bro.
As long as you got a hand, young man, keep flicking cards. Keep flicking them cards, because an old head of mine used to tell me this all the time. The card's going to turn around. They're going to turn. He used to tell me they're going to turn. Like, they always ain't going to be out your favor. But another thing I would tell them is this. One of the things that has helped me is that I've always stuck to a set of rules and morals that I have learned with a mix of what I was taught and a mix of what I've learned and a mix of what I've experienced and a mix of what I've seen. And one of the things that I will always tell a young man is, never despise wisdom. Always listen to someone who has walked down the path that you're walking down before. It is much easier for me to tell you about a pothole that I hit than a road that I never traveled. If I've been down that road and I know that's a dead end, I can tell you not to go down that road because I've already been down there. My car already been to the dead end. I've already turned around. I've already came back up that road and went down the right. So if I can look you're black, you're in America, and the one thing that's going to get you over is being able to know how to play the game. Me and Steven say this all the time, and Steven is definitely keen on this. Man, play the game sometimes. Sometimes people put you in the game and you don't even know it, but long as you know you're sticking by your morals and your code and you being righteous, play the game sometimes.
Come on. And win the game.
And don't let them tell you, because I see it all the time. I see all this, I'm not going to play this game. So you just decided not to even try to win. Because sometimes the only way you're going to win is play the game. Listen, man, listen, let me tell you something, bro. Listen to me, Ken. And anybody from Philadelphia know what I'm talking about from my era. I played on one of the most dominant football teams in my era. We was the Logan Cowboys. Matter of fact, if you looked at Kevin's Hart video about the fact that he only played one football game, he was talking about my team when he was talking about the team he threw the ball up on.
Mm.
We won some games. Listen to me carefully. If you seen that, it was called the Chronicles. I forgot what he called it, but he was talking about his one and only football game was against us. And I'm not gonna lie, we were some rowdy kids. One thing it taught me though was this, man. Man, we was winning games versus kids because they were quitting before we even got there.
Yeah. No mentality.
They were quitting before we showed up. Listen, we were here from the city. The Chiefs don't want to play y'all this weekend. And I'm going to tell you, one game, my coach said, I want to see if they telling me the truth. So my coach had us go out there, man, when we were supposed to get in kickoff formation and get an offensive stance. We took 2 penalties. The kids quit, walked off the field, and we took the game as a forfeit. We played for 5 minutes of no game, and we went home because they didn't even want to play one down against a team that they know was getting ready to hurt them. We hit harder than you. We run faster than you. We play. You don't even want to play this game.
Yeah.
Now I'm a reverse. Hold on. Now I'm a reverse psychology. That's what they thinking about us. We don't even want to play the game.
Yeah.
And all you gotta do sometimes to win is just show up. Sometimes to win the game, you got the look on their face when you actually put on the helmet and get on the field. They shocked that you even did that because they was trying to psych you out to make you think you couldn't even win the game.
Come on.
And they didn't even. Some of them. Listen, some of them didn't even prepare to play you. They didn't. Listen, when we played the Chiefs that week, Matt, I'm telling you, we did not prepare to play them. We absolutely went down there with one plan. They going to quit, and it worked. And that's what some of these people are doing to you, young boy. They believing that one plan they got going to work. I got a question for you. What they going to do when that plan fails?
Come on.
What they going to do with you?
Come on.
What they going to do with you? You gotta listen, make them use plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. And what a friend of mine taught me is most of them don't even got a plan past A. They got one plan and one plan only. They're a one-trick pony. And if you decide to play the game, go get your education, start your business, raise your family with morals, do the right thing, play the game, not their game, but play your game. I promise you, you show up, you'll start winning. You'll start seeing that, man, this thing can actually turn in my favor because contrary to popular demand, when I see this game, I'm noticing they only got one trick pony and it's fear.
Come on, bro.
It's fear. It's
Come
fear. On. They just want you to stay in fear so you won't play. They want you to stay in fear so you won't throw your hat in the game. That's all they want. The minute you decide, listen, I say this all the time, I'm about to touch something real. I'm about to go somewhere taboo. I'm about to open a Pandora's box. I'm letting you know this now. What is the shame of us having our own? What is the shame of it? What is the shame of needing the approval of somebody else? I'm talking about from everything to clothes to sneakers. Why do I got to have on a Louis Vuitton? Why do I have to have a Louis Vuitton bag? Like, somebody answer that. Why do I need a Louis Vuitton bag? Why can't I buy the bag from the brother down the street who make good quality bags and actually put his heart into it and his passion into it, and he represents me and he's looking like this?
Come on, man.
Why? What's the shame in owning your own? Don't be ashamed to go do it on your own because some of the best trailblazers always looked at a field and saw a path. I'm going to say it again because some of y'all ain't catch it. Trailblazers saw a field, and where you saw a dead end, they saw a path.
Come on,
they knew there's something beyond this field. There's something to get to beyond this field. And I'm going to be the first to come through this field and fire this path. And before you know it, you done made a new avenue where everybody traveling, everybody going through it. That's why, let's be honest, man, that's why Tulsa, Oklahoma happened. Because can you imagine Tulsa, Oklahoma, everywhere else? They knew it. They said, this is a blueprint. We got to burn this down. There's no way we can let the rest of America see that they can actually prosper like this. No. On everything. On the bank. Listen, when I did my research on Tulsa, I cried. I said, there was a place that existed in America like this where we ran everything. Everything, boy. Everything sold is us.
The real.
No wonder why they burnt it down. If we can ever get back to that blueprint, just to see what it would look like if the dollar stayed in our circle 10 times, 11 times, and I'm talking to my financial advisor now, 10 times, 11 times, 12 times, it is proven our dollar only touched our hands 1.5 times. We are the least body of the dollar touching our hands. If it could just touch our hands 4 times, it's been proven. We can pick ourselves up by our bootstraps if we can pick us up 4 times. So young boy, do me a favor. Show up, play the game, and see if they're ready to play against you, because half of the time they didn't even prepare for you. They thought you was gonna quit from the rip.
Come on, man.
Hey Matt, I wanna piggyback on one thing he said that stuck out to me when he was talking about wisdom. There are only 2 ways to learn something in this world: either by wisdom, learning from somebody else, or by experience, doing it yourself. My dad always taught me, he said, experience is a teacher, it's a good teacher, but tuition is high. That's what he always told me. It always stuck with me.
Oh, that's fire.
Shoot. Say that again, bro.
Yeah, I got to write that down. I'm stealing that. I need.
Look, experience is a good teacher, but tuition is high. Man, so
come on, bro.
Look, y'all know me. Well, Matt, you know me. You know we kind of from the same area. So one thing I always struggle with was sex, right? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, my parents always taught me no sex till you're married. Now I'll listen. I'll listen.
Yeah.
That's about all I did.
I heard you.
Man. So I'm blessed. Like, I don't have any kids today. That's by the grace of God. All right. So I could have listened when my dad told me don't have sex before marriage, and I would have never even incurred some of the pain I went through, some of the hurt. I mean, look, as men, we don't want to talk about it, but we got emotions. All right.
Come on, bro. That's one of the topics, bro. I don't mind you speaking on it right there. I don't mind you speaking on it right there.
Don't step on my toes, baby. Don't step on my toes, man.
Get roll them.
Listen. I done had some days. Oh, she don't love me no more. She don't love me.
Who you telling? Because we always talk about women for being emotional, but we are emotional too. Now, women are more emotional, but God put emotions in us too. And we don't like to display them because we men. We got to be tough, especially black men. You know, we got to be mad. We got to be tough. Crying? What? Boy, get it up. But anyway, experience. You can need, like, this is the thing. To everybody watching this video, young people especially, talk to other people. If you see somebody in a terrible situation, talk to them. Ask them why are they in the situation they're in. Ask them why. What are some of the things that they've been through in their life? And if you don't want to end up the same place they are, don't do the same things they did. It is insanity to do the same thing and think you're going to get different results. I don't care how many times you add 2 + 2, you're going to get 4. If you on the block selling drugs, robbing folk, in a gang, shooting every other day, you're going to end up dead or in jail. And then you ain't got no reason to complain and talk about, oh, they don't like us. Oh, everybody out here to get me. No, you put yourself in a situation to die. So experience is a teacher, but tuition is high. Learn from other people. A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes.
Help us, Reggie. Help us, man. Help us, man. And I want you to add in there, because we're going to top it out with this too. Young Black in America, but also young Black and Christian in America. Because right now, and I love my boy Queso, Ralph Peters opened it up in his new song. That's tough right now, boy. That's in a tougher spot than what we done talked about. We done messed around. I admit, I got to take accountability. I've been watching that thing for a year and watching it get worse and worse. It's tough out here being young Black and trying to have hope and being Christian. Man, shoot, both. it seemed like about half of them are lost that. Ain't got no hope and ain't got no faith. Gone.
Yeah, so I mean, you think about it. All right, so young black in America right now, we're dealing with so much pain, and we are having small symbolic. Hear me. We are having small symbolic victories. For us who are in the South right now, especially the state of Mississippi, we saw the flag come down, right? But it's really a strong victory towards our economic progress as a community, right? Yeah, you can take the flag, but until we start having laws and policies that are changing to help us to get better, till we ourselves, we are bringing people in our community to come sit down with brothers like Andrew, you know, to have those real financial conversations. We really won't see too much growth. Now,
come on, bro.
On the flip side of it, being a young Christian in America, that goes beyond just being a young black person, right? Being a young Christian in America, there are so many different ideologies out there that are against the Christian community, against the Christian religion, that we have to fight against, as well as the people, the false prophets, right? As well as the people who are having all these titles and saying, well, this is the Christian thing to do. We really got to get our young men and women back to the basics of just studying the word, being in tune with the word, and that's where your hope is going to come from. Because if we can get in tune with what God is saying, we will lead the change that we need in society. But it's got to start with us getting back into the word, being rooted in it, and then that's how we're going to impact the world on the whole. Because there's so many people I talk to, like within the last few months, that say, well, I don't even believe Jesus was the Christ. I believe in a Christ, but I don't believe it was Jesus. Okay, well, what Bible you read? You know?
Yeah. You times done got so hard.
Trying to get into, like, I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. You know, well, we are the Hebrew people. Okay, keep reading and keep studying and go from there. Right? That's all I got.
Man,
Yeah.
you hitting on something right there, man. Because I mean, just even the fact that you're right, it is so many ideologies out there, and there are a lot of baby Christians. And don't take this the wrong way, but I mean, just like when the Bible says, you know, you got to be born again. If you think about it, when a baby is born, he's just that, a baby. You got to learn you got to grow up. First off, you got to read, you got to study. You got to learn how to love your enemy. You know, that stuff takes time. But like RJ was saying, man, but like we don't read. Hold on, right there. I was a saying a long time ago, and some people still say it today, but it said, if you want to keep anything from a black man, put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
Put it in a book. We don't read, man. That's the thing. So with being young, black, and Christian in America, we don't read. And that we don't read any book. We'll read Facebook posts, Twitter posts. We don't read nothing else. We don't read nothing that's actually we don't read nothing that's actually beneficial to our life.
Which a bunch of ideas, and there's so much that stands with the whole picture of being young, black, and Christian in America. If you do it right, it is the perfect mixture right now. Because your whole Bible speaks to it. But what you got to understand, if you're ripping the Bible away from your life, you are unequipping yourself to fight times of terror, which we are in. You young black, you're facing terrorism in America right now. If you go look up terrorism in the Middle East, I ain't talking about the government standard version that they tell you on CNN. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about go find out why the Taliban was created and how they got upset at their people being bombed because people were trying to steal their oil, and then they started fighting back in the wrong way and became terrorists themselves. You need to go look at, like you say, go read, go study to find, okay, dog, that happened and this happened, then that happened and that happened. You need to go look at your cause and effect, and you mean to tell me that in this time right now, you want to play piggy pat with an idea and rip away the only hope that you got left. And we do so much lying saying you know you ain't perfect. The only thing promised is death. Well, why are you living a life that's only promised to this earth? I want to live a life that's promised to my life after this. And I'm seeing some stuff that's crazy and impossible. So I need an impossible God. You stop getting mad at God for the stuff that you can do in your life. Stop being like that. God, you need God for your miracles. You need him in your everyday life too, but the Bible says he already provided that. You need him for your miracles. And right now, walk outside and you ain't got no miracle in your young black right now. Walk outside and tell me you don't need no covering, right? Man, I'm out here in Florida. I thought about the other day, I'm driving. I took a wrong turn, and the GPS told me to go on a road to get back on the highway. I said, I'm not taking that road. You know what I'm saying? I can hear God. I said, man, I'm not taking. I'm black. What you mean? I'm not finna. I said, man, I whipped around. I said, I don't care how long it takes to turn my butt around. I said, because I'm black, bro. But you're not finna tell me to leave God. I'm sorry. It's sensitive. It's special to me because, like Andrew, you know, you're a testament. RJ, you're a testament. I wouldn't like this. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I get angry because I wouldn't like everybody. I wouldn't like this. I wouldn't like this. And all everybody know besides people who see my walk there one day, and then I was saving. I was a few little years gap where it was quiet, and boom, I was saved, and been living that way to the fullness of my strength because it going to something that Max said. I'm not finna with all this talk about perfection. I just hate to hear people put good stuff that is true only on terms that they believe in. So you mean to tell me you can do anything you put your mind to, but you mean to tell me I can't walk a saved life? That's my impossible. It's just I have to be able to live a life, and I say this because this has been the biggest picture for me. And I'll let y'all round it up and finish. I looked at my kids one day, and this is what I said. As a young black man in America, I'm one of only 2 executives in our company that's black. So I'm already running this success there. My company is steadily trying to move me to Chicago, to a different region to do even more. I'm learning and working. My wife got her own business. We live a holistic lifestyle. She's healthy. I'm getting into like everything that the work I put into is what has made it real. Faith and hard work. And you mean to tell me that I finna do all that, and the thing that I would separate myself from is God? You got to be stupid.
It's like today, right? I gotta add this in there. It's like today, them say God can do all things except for that, huh? Now the word says God can do all things, but you gotta accept this. You gotta, God can do all things except this, and this. Now that's how my check. All means everything, excluding nothing.
Everything.
Right.
Everything. But yet you got this list of, yeah, God, you can do all of this, but you can't do this.
Yeah, and look, if you ain't real to it, you ain't gotta sign up. Because last time I checked, we and a lot of time in Hebrew boy situation, because I get tired of hearing if God was so good, how come you keep letting this stuff happen to black people? You ain't the first one to be killed for what you believe or who you were, bro. So stop acting like you special. You know what I'm saying? Now don't get me wrong, we finna put up the best fight we got against it now. But my Bible told me, I'm like the Hebrew boy. If he save me, I'm with him. If he don't save me, I'm still with him.
Listen, Matt, they forget that God already brought them through so much already. You forgot that he already did it for you. He already fixed it. He already brought you over. He brought you through the stuff that you thought you weren't gonna make it through. He brought you out of situations where other people didn't make it out. And you forget that he the same guy back then and the same guy right now.
Come on, if I get got today, you still good. If I walk outside going to get something to eat and you get me today, you still don't beat God because he's still good. Exactly. He's still good. You got me one day after 29 years. Cause you lost. God already got 29 years. You lost. You got one day you got me, and you think you finna outrule 29 years. 29 years.
And we don't even want to talk about some of the positions that we put ourselves in, and then we blame God. So you made it. Let's just talk about it. Let's just go there since we're in OT, right? You want to blame God for the decisions that you made on your own, and it's God's fault that you in this position when He was giving you an unction not to do the very thing that you did, and you went and did it, and now, oh God, hold up, time out, cuz I asked you not to do that, and you went over there and did that, and now it's all my fault. I still gotta hear, and this how good, oh come on, God, I hear you. This is how good God is. Even in that position, He's still coming to get you because you His child.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Even in that position, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. When you cry out, I'm coming to, even though I told your stubborn behind to stay over here, you went over there, and I'm still like your daddy, like a good father, like our father, like agape love that got no conditions on it. I'm coming to get you when you cry, even though I told you. Now I'm gonna be a daddy. I'm gonna make sure you're cool, but God's like any other father. After I make sure you're cool, why the hell did you go over there when I told you not to?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
Listen, it's the story of the prodigal son. The prodigal son told the dad, "Listen, yo, I want my money. Yo, give me my money. Like, yo, give me my money. I'm done with you. I'm done with all this. Give me my money." So you gonna take the money that he still gave it to you. Like, here you go. All right. You go out there and you waste it and you lose it all and you end up in the pig pen. But then the thing is, then you laying in the pig pen like, hold on. The slaves at my father's house eat better than what I'm eating right now. If I can go back and be a slave, then I should be good. And then you come back and God is still there waiting. He don't even let nobody see you in the way you are. He said, listen, get the finest robes and take it to my child. He cursed him. He still come with the finest robes for you. So understand this.
The accountability. We got to go back to the accountability, because the thing that slipped me that I was saying the other day, this is what I realized. And I talked to Reggie about this, man. And I said, bro, we got to change this right here. I looked at my kids, bro, and realized something. I said, you know what? I don't have a village. Not just a village now. I'm going to keep going, because I got a community. I got people who I did ministry with. I got people who, if I died today, would help donate to take care of my kids, stuff like that. I got not life support, but I got life insurance. I got that now. But let me tell you what I realized I didn't have. I didn't have a village that would be able to influence my kids to live the life that I lived and believed in. I ain't got that, bro.
That's big.
Now, don't get me wrong, it's out there, but that's what this is for. And I said, God, I'm gonna take accountability and start bringing my brothers.
That's a transparent moment. That's a real transparent moment, bro.
Yeah,
that's big. A lot of men don't admit that's a real transparent moment.
And that's on me. And that's on me, because I said, who God, who am I connecting with? Who I've been spending my time with? And I was telling my wife, I was naming people. I named folks like Reggie. I named folks like Andrew. I said, man, I got all these people who've been just around me for years. And you mean to tell me I ain't been connecting with these people? Who could say, if I died today, who could say you can't drink? Why? Because your daddy didn't drink. Your daddy believed it's better than drinking. Yeah, people drink. Yeah, it's social. But your daddy believed that as impossible as it was to the culture to not drink, your daddy believed, watch me do it. Your daddy didn't smoke because your daddy believed, watch me not smoke. Your daddy didn't cheat on your mama because your daddy said, watch me be a young Black man in America and never cheat on my wife.
If you need a witness, I got you.
But I'm on him. I'm just saying, because I know a lot of people could save and unsaved who ain't living that life. I know people who've been treated better than me, who I knew. I said, God, no, I know I ain't all that, but I know he's sleeping about 2 or 3 of them that I know. I know he's sleeping. I'm just saying, the accountability that the lack of accountability. And I said, bro, if I died today, would there be people who I personally have surrounded around me that I've invested in and that have invested in me, who would tell my kids, no, you do better and you know better. Because your daddy beat all that impossible stuff. You don't do what's social out here.
Mm.
You do what God put you here to do.
Yeah, that's big.
And that's on me.
Right there.
Yeah,
that's on me, bro. I gotta commit.
Let me throw this idea out there too. So we think about being young and Christian, not even just being young and Christian. We think about Christianity, period, right? The Great Commission, in the Great Commission, God gave us a major command. 2 letters. Go. And too often we have people who will say things like, well, I'm just going to pray on it. I'm going to wait on God. God has already told us to go out and to, make disciples, right? So we already got the command to do it. We got to stop being, like Matt said, we got to hold ourselves accountable, and we got to stop being stagnant on what he's already told us to do. And they go to that point of just knowing that word and being a student of God's word. In order to give hope to people, you got to have hope within yourself.
Man, look, hey, I'm gonna give you 1 point on that. There are 2 prayers that God will never answer. Number 1 is what he commanded you to do, and number 2 is something that he already did.
Come on, say it. Say it. Come on, you preaching good there, Doc. What's your cash at?
No,
you preaching good there, Doc.
I can't tell you how many times I can scroll down Facebook and see, just like you said earlier, if God is so good, why is all this stuff happening? I mean, it's consequences to stuff that we do. But at the same time, God told us to, the hands of God is the church. God doesn't just do stuff yes, he does do stuff supernaturally, but it's always through people. We are here for a reason. We have to impact people. God already sent Jesus to die. Now I have to go and tell somebody about Jesus. Jesus is not getting back up on the cross. He's not dying again. It's our job to say about what's already been done, so we know what we have access to. That's all. If you find out who you are, what God he's already done, that's the faith that you walk in. You believe that this stuff is already done, and now that's where your life starts to change. God sent Jesus to die on the cross for your salvation, your healing, your prosperity. I mean, he died for all of that. And just because your situation doesn't reflect that right now, that doesn't mean you don't have access to it. That means you haven't been believing for it. That's all I got, man.
Accountability. That's a lot of accountability, right? That's a lot of accountability. And that's a big thing. Whew.
And last thing, I just think even if we held each other accountable just to start reading 30 minutes a day, that's it, just 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes in the Bible and then 30 minutes on some book towards whatever you're trying to do in life. That's an hour a day. You still got 23 left. What you gonna do with the rest?
Come on. Folks don't know how much reading an hour every morning has changed my life, bro. Through my whole promotion, I'm making it because of the books that I read every morning, bro. People do not. Man, it's better than TV. It's better than whatever you do, bro. It's better than you be feeling like I can watch TV, bro. There is so many topics and stuff go through TV, the episode go off and you can't watch no more. Bro, you can read book after book after book on stuff, man,
and you never feel like you know enough. You'll never feel like you know enough. You start thirsting for it, man. You're like, I gotta get some more. Like, what's next? I'm telling you, man.
I've been hungry today because I didn't read enough of. I'm reading It's Your Ship right now, and I didn't read enough of It's Your Ship. I've been so hungry, just like man. And then you can read some books that will I'm talking about that would do some stuff in you. Like I read Relentless, bro. Ooh, somebody, shoot, why? Got me believing. I'm talking about. I already believe, but it was like, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Who wrote
and then
that
I just while the Chicago Bulls documentary was out, man, that helped me so much for people, man. I was reading religion and messed around and finished the book, and then episode 6 came on where Mike cried and said, if you don't want to play like that, then don't play like that.
Oh, bruh, oh man, it's about the mind, bro.
Man, I felt like that about so much stuff, bro. I'm talking about even being young, being black, being Christian, and being in business. If you don't want to play like that, matter of fact, I said, hey, as Christian, like if you don't want to play like that, don't play like that. As being black, if you don't want to play like that, if you don't want to be a part of the takeover, then just don't do it then. Stay home. Stay home, man. Ain't nobody just stay home. Go home.
And it's funny y'all talking about books because I pray about a lot. And lately, my lady been talking about me going back to school to get my master's. And I said, you know, so when I got up and I was like, God, let me ask you a question. Do you want me to go back to school to get my master's? I said, because you know I'm not the school type person. I promise you. Sometimes God give you an answer, but within the answer he giving you, he kind of reveals something to you that like you pump faking. He said, get up.
Yeah.
He said, sit up. I sat up right in my bed. He said, look at the bookshelf. I looked at the bookshelf. All these, I got 2 shelves full of books. He said, do you realize, I'm your Lord. I'm going to give you the percentage. Do you realize you haven't read 98% of those books on that shelf? He was like, you talking about going to school. If you just got up and read these books on this shelf, you wouldn't even think about a master's degree because you'll be a master. Look at the subjects of the books on the shelf. And I start pulling out 48 laws of power.
Come on.
21 irrefutable laws of leadership by John Maxwell. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Let's just get at it. Built to Last. Teach Me How to Pray. John Maxwell. Winning with People. I got books here. These are the books
John Maxwell.
Procrastination, The Light Book, Power of a Praying Husband. My fiance gave me this. The Hidden Light, Eric Thomas, You Ain't the Boss of Me. God said, get up and start reading these books and start watching these fluff shows that you're watching, and your material will change. The subjects you got to change. You become much more sharper, and trust me, it's clear to somebody when they're dealing with somebody that's reading because your perspective start to change and you start to get wider and more broader view about things and an understanding about things. And I just made a commitment to God. I said, you know what? I said, is that true? You know, how I'm going to ask God, is that true? But 98% of these books, I legit got maybe 100 to about 125 books on there. Think about what 98% of these books is. And he said, you ain't read 98% of them. Just read the books. Just do that. You ain't got, like he said, you ain't got to pay for the experience. Just read the books. Just commit to reading the books.
That's deep.
That's it.
So what I heard Max say was this. A lot of what we need, we already got. A lot of what we need, a lot of what we seeking, we already have it. We just gotta be going back to Matt's point is accountability. So we already got the resources to be successful. We gotta start using them.
Come on.
And we ain't gotta go out there and spend that extra.
You're right.
Yup.
You're right. Look, and what I'm a testament. I'm a testament to that too.
Come on.
I got about 50 books on my shelf. I ain't look. I'm on book number 2.
You go look at that shelf, huh?
No, what? I got so many books. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. Man. That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm telling you, man.
I take it one step. I take it one step further with you. Well, no, you go ahead, Matt.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. Because I'm just blessed.
Okay. I was listening to Eric Thomas one morning, and he said, we got so much information today. The only thing we don't do is apply it. We get to a point to where we consume so much information that we just don't apply it. Like now, a lot of the granted, a lot of the information we consume today is social media. It is irrelevant things. But imagine how different your life would be for the better if all the information you started taking in was stuff for where you was trying to go in life. Think about every time you open Facebook, it was an article about that business that you're trying to start. Every time you want to scroll on Instagram, you just had a friend at work, new job you would think about getting, or that position that you want that's different from the job you have now. Think about how different your life would look if that you just started taking in that information and then you started to apply it. If I had the knowledge on how to build a house, but I never pick up a hammer, then what good is that knowledge? It's useless.
Come on, bro. I tell you what gets crazy. When you read enough, you mess around and learn from people who built the house and didn't pick up the hammer. Never had to pick it up, but they got the house built. Just like I told my wife, man, I said, man, I told her, I'm on a book a week. She said, you don't think that may be too fast or too much? She said, is you even obtaining that knowledge? I said, it ain't even about obtaining it to me. I said, I'm using it every day. I said, I'm empty. This is something that people are afraid of. By the time that I get through with the book, I've exhausted all that I read. Relentless, I did all that May when I was reading. I did all that June when I read it. It ain't. I got to read, and it forces me to read the next book, the Dichotomy of Leadership. I did all that when I had to lead people through a path. I'm the leader. Oh shoot, we lost 40% of our company, and I'm one of the leaders that just coached all these people through a whole month of Dichotomy of Leadership. I used all that. Extreme ownership. I'm using all that. Then I done put so many people on ownership. Folks say, man, God, dog, boy, you don't pack my list. I said, yes, sir. Because I'm making you own it. You tell me reading the book. You thought I was just going to put more on myself. Well, when I read Extreme Ownership, it told me it ain't no bad teams, only bad leaders. I said, oh, okay, so I got leaders. Ain't no bad teams, it's only bad leaders.
Mm.
Yep.
Every book I read is why I read. Go ahead.
I tell you, I know bad.
You choppy, Andrew, like real choppy now. Yep. You probably had to reconnect. But that I used up all that, man. I used up all of that. There you go.
I'm back. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you better now. You better now.
You good now.
Okay, cool. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there's no such thing as bad households or bad kids in a household. They're just bad leaders of the household. Now that's a touchy subject that we don't want to talk about. But listen, how many times, and we know, I'm pretty sure all of us being black can see this. There is maybe a grandma, or not even grandma, just a parent. They got a little kid, they do something, man, that kid's so bad, they bad, but how many times do we say that? And these kids hear that, and they think that's normal. And then they laugh and they don't get disciplined for it, and so they think that's normal. Okay, it's fun. It creates this happy emotion in people when I act out, when I do something crazy. So what do? Just like what you talked about earlier. They see this stuff as a kid, and then they grow up and they do the same thing.
The same thing.
That's all it is.
That's the expectation they think they supposed to be living up to. Cause a lot of us, we scared of putting a better expectation on them. Like your kid go be better than you. That's why the Bible tells us the son ain't never better than the father. But then a few chapters later told us greater will ye do more than I, even though I came before you. They go do greater, but they ain't never over you because you made them jokers.
Yeah.
So stop being afraid to give your kids some real expectations because you in competition with them. I feel like I'm deep right now. You stop being in competition with your doggone kid. Somebody, I want to give them. I want to be the one to give it to them. Let them go get it. Because the boy might got it in him to go get it. Let him go. These are on chokeholds you got on your people. You and on yourself. Stop choking yourself. You choking the life out of yourself with your insecurities. When you've been supposed to have been on. I'm sorry.
Man, you hitting on it, man. You right on the head.
Because it's real, bro. It's real. Like your greatness is right past your insecurity. Your greatness is right past all the stuff that's not like it's literally, it ain't the grass that's green on the other side. It's you that's better on the other side. Literally on the other side of the fence is the better you. And you standing on the other side of it. You standing on the other side of the fence. And on the other side,
the quote that say, what's the quote that say, the greatest things in life are on the other side of your fear?
Come on, man. Come on. And you got to take stuff like we on this live right now, but this is what people don't realize. It changed my life when I came to your office to try to get that loan for that car and I couldn't get it. And you told me what to go do. And that was what? Had it been what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, that was some years ago.
You still in community bank. You got to stop being so insecure and so ashamed. That stuff changed me, man. That stuff changed me. I had 2 boys. I ain't finna see him be scared. I got 2 boys at the house. At that time, man, I had just got through OnlyFans. I remember I cried one day as a man because wanting to work, wanting to do it. My wife nursing, working 12-hour shifts. My kids better see my wife. I had a 1-year-old and a newborn. And I remember, like, my kid, it always reminded me because my oldest boy, Benji, he liked crackers. And I tell people the crazy story behind him liking crackers is because that's all I had to feed. That's all I had to feed my baby. And I'm a man at home. And this boy grew to like saltine crackers because he ate it every day. That changed me, man. And some of us, we want to cry about the side of the story where you going through that. I cried too. But when I cry today, I cry because I'm the other side of me. I ain't that's what BeatLife came from. I started letting life will beat me. It will whooping me, bro. Whooping me. And just like I say, I'm looking at people telling me what to do, but being so insecure that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just ride with the excuses. Guess what? People may leave you or dare. Let me tell you something. This is a wide awakening. This for young men, this for old men. Listen, you gotta on the inside of you, because all of us are affecting the outside, trying to get to the inside of you. But the thing you need to know is you get out when you pay your bill.
Oh, that's a good one right there. That's a good one.
But you get out when you pay your bill. And guess what? Your life experiences is a bunch of wealth that you can pay it with. But until you pay your bill, you ain't getting out. So just stay in there. If you want to get out. Because get what?
Get out.
The other thing, I'm going to let it go. Ain't nobody, you got to look at the inside of you and go tell you, ain't nobody coming. We it.
Man,
ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody coming on this. Just like you said about the finances, Andrew, ain't nobody coming on this side of poverty, of a poverty mindset. You got to cross the mindset, then I'll give you the wealth. But I can't give you wealth on the other side. It's laws in this. As long as you're in a poverty mindset, I can't give you wealth. But if you switch to the wealth mindset, now I can give you wealth. Why? Because you got the mindset. But you don't want to.
Exactly, man.
Ain't nobody coming. You got to do that. You the hero. Ain't nobody coming. It's you. Cross over, then we'll be there. But ain't nobody coming. You got to pay your bill.
Bro, I was just talking about this, like 2 days ago? Man, the only difference between a poor person and a rich person is the mindset. Bro, I can't stress it enough, man. It's all about the mind. It's all about your mindset, man. If you always think you're going to be broke, guess what? You're going to be broke. If you think you can't never get ahead, you think you can't never get out the hood, whatever it is, you're going to stay there. And then until you equip yourself with the proper knowledge in order to, this is the thing, you don't even have to know everything you have to do to get out your situation. You just got to know what you need to do, take the next step.
That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. You are the study in the fence. Somebody, I need a strategy. Not for this part.
Listen, I'll be telling them, like, look, it's not about faking it till you make it. Don't fake it till you make it. No, that's not what we're doing. But you can believe it until you achieve it. So you can believe that there's a higher level. You can believe that you can be a better person. You can believe that you can be stronger. You can believe that you can have a lot of stuff. You can believe that stuff can be fixed. Like believe that you can do it. Believe that you can get to those levels. Believe those changes can happen, and then work towards that change. Work towards that belief. And that's all it is. It's like it's your mindset. It's all about your mind. I didn't know better until I knew better, if that makes sense. Because when I was younger, I thought one way because that's all I knew and that's all I was taught. But then when I saw better, then I